Hi, Wendy. Nice haircut.
Thank you.
All right, we are live. Thank you, Councillor Theos, for that update. Much appreciated. Do want to just start our August 4th, 2020 Courtenay City Council meeting. Want to respectfully acknowledge that we are zooming and meeting on the unceded traditional territories of the Comox First Nation. And with that, do want to acknowledge that Councillor Morin does have a new haircut that looks very nice. And just to remind people that due to coronavirus COVID-19 emergency, the City of Courtenay, with the authority of Ministerial Order M192, Ministerial Local Government Meetings and Bylaw Process, Order number 3, implemented changes to its open council meetings. In the interest of public health and safety, and in accordance with Section 3 of the Ministerial Order number 3, M192, in-person attendance by members of the public at council meetings will not be permitted until further notice. Council meetings are presided over by the mayor or acting mayor with electronic participation by council and staff via live web. And with that, we can do adoption of minutes.
I can move adoption of those minutes.
Second.
Excellent. Awesome. So that'll be adoption of the 20th and 30th of July.
Both dates, please.
Excellent. And are there any questions or comments regarding either of those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor, any opposed, and that passes. Very nice. Excellent. Moving along, internal reports and correspondence. We have a briefing note about the OCP.
Move receipt of that.
Second.
Excellent. And we'll pass it over to staff.
Thank you, Mayor. With this, I'll pass over to Tat Sita and Nancy Gothard are both on the Zoom meeting today to answer any questions and summarize the report for council. Okay, Tats.
Oh, good afternoon. Am I clear?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Good. Well, good afternoon. Thank you through CEO to Mayor Council. This briefing note is to provide a quick update on the OCB project. The first, staff conducted virtual stakeholder sessions last week. There were a total of 8 two-hour sessions on different topics, such as land use, housing, transportation, placemaking, and quality of life. All sessions were very well attended. A total of 49 individuals in sessions representing 30 different organizations. We had over 100 conversations once we count for the duplicates across the sessions. We'd like to thank all the participants. Also, thank you for the mayor for your participants. Attendance. Second, there will be public online surveys coming up. The briefing note in front of you states that it's going to be activated today, but due to technical difficulties, it's going to be rescheduled on the August 6th, maybe possibly 7th if something goes wrong with it. But all the residents are encouraged to participate, and notice will be distributed through social media, stakeholders email list, as well as newspaper. In addition to the survey, I'd like to mention that there are some interactive engagement tools available on city's website. One is online story mapping tool, and another is playbook that family can enjoy during summer month. These are excellent engagement tools for kids and parents, so please do enjoy. In September, staff will be conducting a series of workshops, but the detail hasn't been sorted out. So yes, but stay tuned. So that concludes my briefing. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Excellent, thanks very much. And yeah, I have to say it was quite nice sitting in on the one OCP session last week. I did get a little nervous when I did get all the invites to all the 2-hour sessions last week, and wondered how I was going to fit it all in. But thanks to yourself and Nancy, kind of bringing me in, I think, just for the parts that would be useful. And yeah, it was a great experience, and just a big thanks to staff for keeping this moving forward. I know the process did get impacted a bit, obviously with COVID-19. With that, I'll pass it over to Councillor Frisch.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor, and thanks, Seta. I had a question about the story map, and I on it online, and I noticed that there are 2 stories. Are there possibly a way for people to include more stories in that, or am I maybe missing some of them?
Maybe I pass on to Nancy if she can answer that question.
Hi there. Through the CAO and Mayor, if you found 2 story maps, there is still the urban forest strategy story map that is live. It's probably not getting a lot of action at this time. And then there's also the OCP story map. So the only, obviously the one that is relevant today is the one on the Courtenay.ca/OCP update webpage. I'm not quite sure how you would have accessed the story map, but that's the one to access, is right on the project webpage. And then you can upload as many photos as you like and add as many comments as you like. An individual may. So one per photo, a comment may be added.
Right, through the participate button. Maybe you don't have it in front of you as well, but I noticed if I press the participate button, I can go and sign up through Facebook or whatnot, and it looks like I can be a part of that.
I can follow up just on that matter of if you need an account. You should not need an account in order, either Facebook or Google or any. It should just allow a direct access to it. I can look at it again and talk to other technical staff to just make sure that that's working, but we did want to reduce the barrier of someone feeling they needed to have an account in order to participate in that engagement tool.
Great, thanks for that. And I also had a question about the stakeholders engagement meetings you just held. You said you talked to, I believe it was 30 some odd different groups that were represented. Can you just outline some of those groups for us? Are they environmental groups or social groups or economic construction groups? Do you have that list handy? I didn't notice in the briefing note.
I can follow up
Sure.
if that's appropriate. It did run the full gamut of interests. So all the interests that you just mentioned were invited and actually did participate in the stakeholders. I think our total number of groups, I'd have to check my numbers, but it is well over 50. So not all groups that were invited did attend, but we did have pretty good cross-sectoral attendance. And then also a number of advisory committee members representing a variety of topics also were in attendance. But we could provide that list in more detail if you like.
I just wanted, it's good to hear. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't any obvious sectors that were perhaps missed or missed their opportunity.
I would say that there weren't any obvious gaps, but there were some in terms of thematic topics, but there were some individual groups who could not attend, and we have made ourselves available to talk more individually with anybody who couldn't attend.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Mrs. Seta.
And Councillor McCollum.
Thanks, Mayor. And yeah, thanks to staff for the update on how this is rolling along. It's great to see that we were able to conduct some stakeholder engagement despite the difficulties around gathering and hosting meetings and whatnot. I'm really glad to hear how much uptake there was in participating at this point in the process. I guess my question is, at what point will we receive like the gathered information from the stakeholder engagement piece? Is that coming in before or after the survey results? Are we going to get it all together later in the fall? How's that going to come together?
Well, thank you to CEO, to Mayor and Council. We will gather up all the information in the next coming weeks, and then also we will prepare for that compiled document to the workshop in the in September workshop. So perhaps around that time it will be the best time to present all the input from the stakeholders. So that way, you have more comprehensive understanding of the input from the residents.
That's great.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you.
And I think on when I was part of the one session there, when Nancy was doing the sort of orientation at the beginning, there was a slide that had that sort of continuum. And I almost wonder if that got sent out to council, because I think it had some milestones and timelines on it, or maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Through the CAO and Mayor and Council, I can answer that. There is, Mayor Wells, you're referring to a slide that shows all the 6 project milestones. I'd have to see, it is definitely on our webpage, I think hidden in a previous council report. We do intend, staff do intend to alert council of the public survey as soon as it does come live, which is expected later this week. At that time, we could provide some of these additional resources that you're requesting, just a reminder of the phasing, the list of the stakeholders who've been engaged to date. And if there's anything else, we can provide that as well.
Excellent. Fantastic. I don't see any other questions or comments at this point. So I think with that, thanks very much for the update. Really appreciate it. And all those in favor of, I'll just.
Did we get a receipt motion? Did we get?
I thought we had a receipt.
Yeah, I moved receipt and Melanie McCullen seconded it.
Yeah. And so, so unless you wave your hands furiously saying that you don't want to receive it, I'll assume that it's unanimously received, and we can move on to reports and updates from council. Yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just I believe you missed the introduction of late items, and I had sent out. I think you and other council members have seen them, but we do need a motion to approve the introduction of those 2 late items.
Yes, thank you very much. And I didn't put a little star there on my thing to remind me. So thanks you, Councillor Hillian. So if somebody would like to move that, Councillor Hillian.
Well, I'll just say what they are, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'll move that we introduce 2 late items. The first is the notice of motion in relation to requesting the Island Health and the provincial government consider an ACT team for the Comox Valley. The second is the follow-up discussion regarding the Kiwanis seniors presentation.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, and I can poll council if you'd like, starting with Councillor Cole Hamilton.
In favor.
Councillor Frisch.
In favor.
Councillor Hillian.
In favor.
Councillor McCollum.
In favor.
Councillor Morin.
In favor.
Councillor Theos.
I'm in favor.
All right, excellent. So we'll bring those back under new business, I believe, and go from there, or will there be notice of motion and new business? So, all right, getting back to reports and updates from council, Councillor Cole Hamilton.
Thank you, Mayor. Just unmuting myself. Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight something which is going on later this week, which members of council may be interested in, possibly members of the public. As you probably know, I do a fair amount of work with Climate Caucus, and last year we had our first climate summit, which was well attended and in person. This year's will be virtual, and we have over 200 people registered so far. It'll take place the Thursday and Friday of this week, and if you want to register, it's if you just Google Climate Caucus Summit 2020, you'll get to the link pretty quickly. And one of the sort of interesting things that we've tried to do this year is provide a really substantial resource for local government electeds from across Canada who attend. And there's going to be a councillor's handbook, as it's called, which has roughly 270 pages long, which worked on by 57 councillors and mayors and more than 60 experts from 5 working groups. And what's attempted to do there is to provide, there are 97 possible initiatives referred to, but there are 6 which are developed in quite a lot of detail. One sort of, as they're referred to, champion initiative from each working group, and each one contains a sample resolution from the council which passed it, a council story on getting it done, briefing notes, case studies, responses to common questions and concerns, analysis of jurisdiction. And it's a very, very complete package. And that's part of what will be presented at the summit. And there will also be a number of discussion and working groups going on there. So if anyone finds that they have time, it's from 8 a.m. Pacific until 12:20 on Thursday and on Friday. And anyway, just wanted to bring that to council's attention. I think a lot of energy has gone into this, and it's turned out to be, I think when initially Rick suggested putting something that was more like a book than a guide, I think some of us were surprised, but managed to pull it off. And anyways, if you're able to make it to the summit, we'd look forward to seeing you there later this week. Thank you.
Excellent, thanks. Now, Councillor Moran and McCollum, I'm assuming you might have your own things to talk about, or did you have questions for Councillor Cole-Hamilton?
I just wanted to say thank you to Councillor Cole-Hamilton and say thank you for the reminder, because I did have it in my calendar to register and I haven't, so I don't know how much room there is, but I'll follow that up. So thanks a lot.
Mayor, may I respond?
Yeah.
Say, like, great thing about Zoom is there's always room for more people, which is one more window. And I'd actually had it in my notes I didn't mention, but I should say that there's a champion initiative in each of 5 working groups. One is food security, and the champion initiative is the Comox Valley's Food Policy Council. So it's being highlighted as an example of excellence across the country. So Councillor Moran is our representative, and I know you're very involved in that. That just must, hopefully that's satisfying to hear that it's a model for other communities to follow.
That's great, thank you.
That's excellent. Thanks for that update. Councillor McCollum.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks, Councillor Cole-Hamilton, for the reminder around the Climate Caucus Summit this week. I did remember to sign up for it just this morning, so it's timely. And I just wanted to mention that I was involved in one of the subcommittees around active transportation and championing, I'm having a hard time pronouncing that, initiatives that are relevant to both rural and urban communities. And I found the conversations around it to be really useful. It was a wide swath of activists, both local politicians, as well as people that have been involved in the planning process in various jurisdictions for many years. So it was really quite valuable and informative to participate in it. And I really look forward to seeing what other initiatives are outlined in the book that's presented, or guidebook. I don't know. What did you say it was called?
So Councillor's Handbook is what we're going with, but yeah.
Excellent. And Councillor Moran.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wondered, so Councillor Cole-Hamilton, do we have staff attending, do you know, or is this appropriate for staff? I'm just wondering if we have any of our local staff attending.
I don't know that. I think it's mostly councillors, mayors, directors, and people from environmental NGOs, but there may well be staff attending. But I with large tenants, I don't happen to know that, actually.
I don't know if Mr. Kushner has any idea about that, but.
Yeah, thank you. I can jump in. I was waiting for my gap. As of right now, we don't have any staff attending, but it's certainly something we can look at. But Councillor Cole-Hamilton is correct, is that it's typically elected officials.
All right. Excellent. And just to confirm, I don't believe any other councillors had any updates they needed to share at this moment in time. So with that, we are not going to do the resolution to go in camera. And we will move right into, not unfinished, but a notice of motion. And I'll pass it over to Alien.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, I think according to our clerk, it is unfinished business, the Kiwanis Junction issue.
Okay. All right, unfinished business, yes.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So I asked that this be brought forward because as council will remember on the, I believe it was in early June, I think the 10th of June, that we had a presentation from the representatives of Kiwanis seniors regarding their concerns about the Junction Housing Project. And at that time, they made a request of us. I know we have taken some steps to gather more information, and I believe Mr. Richta has some additional information with regards to that. But we did receive another letter from the representative, Ms. Chris Anderson, in the middle of July. And my feeling was that we should give some sort of formal response to those folks, just to let them know what our process is and what we're doing. Primarily because part of what brought them here in the first place was their feeling of being unheard. And I don't want us to add to that feeling by effectively not responding to them for a couple of months while we sort out what our options may be. But I wonder if Ms. Surich could fill us in on the information she shared by email earlier today, and then I would have something to add to that as well.
All right.
Thank you. Through the CAO to Mayor and Council. Yes, staff have been working to move forward with the resolution from Council to have an invitation extended to BC Housing and the operator of the junction to come and speak with Council about the operations and to address the concerns that were brought forward by the Comox Valley Kiwanis Village residents as well as Comox Valley Better at Home. Unfortunately, with summer scheduling, they were not available for the month of August, but we do have confirmation that Heidi Hartman from BC Housing, as well as, just checking my notes, Natalie Meredith, the program manager for the John Howard Society, have confirmed their availability to attend the September 21st regular council agenda. And we anticipate to receive a response from Wendy Richardson from the John Howard Society as well, pending her return from vacation this month, that she should be able to attend on September 21st. And then there was follow-up regarding who we have for representation of city staff. So Dave Snyder, the Director of Recreation and Cultural Services, was appointed as the city staff representative to the Community Advisory Committee. That information was conveyed to Arlene Hogan, who is the CAC meeting host. And he has been put on the distribution list. And I believe he attended their last meeting, which was in June 25th. And I'm not sure if there have been subsequent meetings scheduled after that. So we are making progress.
Thanks very much, Mr. Rich. That's really good to know that that follow-up has taken place. The issue, of course, is that the request is for a council representative to liaise with the Kiwanis residents, and that's something that is not accomplished through Mr. Snyder's appointment to the Junctions Community Advisory Committee. Now, it's still up to council to decide whether we want to, in fact, do that. And we may want to wait till we have that presentation from BC Housing before making that decision. But in the meantime, Mr. Snyder and myself have I was approached by the board of Kiwanis Village asking if a representative of council could attend, myself could attend their board meeting. And I suggested that Mr. Snyder would also be a good person to attend. So with the support of council, unless anybody feels strongly otherwise, he and I have agreed to attend the Kiwanis board meeting. I believe it's on the 26th of August. And we may be able to get further clarity from that as to who represents who here and how we might act going forward. I would like to, when we finish this discussion, actually move that we write to the representatives of who came in the delegation to let them know the steps that have been taken and the steps yet to be taken, because I think that would ensure accountability on our part in actually responding to them and keeping them posted.
Thanks so much, Councillor Hillian, on this file. I really do appreciate, and I think that makes excellent sense. Ms. Schritzer, do we need to make a motion prior to, or as far as I'm concerned, the staff delegation makes good sense, and Councillor Hillian has been the point person, I think, on this file since the beginning. So do we need to do anything beyond that?
I think for point of clarity, Mayor, if we have a resolution regarding the letter of response and maybe future discussion to appointed member of council, that may not have to be addressed today, as Councillor Hillian suggested, but in future resolution to appoint that member of council would be best. Thank you.
Okay.
In the meantime, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that staff write to the members of the delegation who presented on June the 8th on behalf of the Kiwanis seniors to advise of council's process with regards to this request, and that we are still in fact searching for information before determining a response.
Second.
Excellent. I'll poll council unless anybody has anything to say to it, but I don't see any hands. Starting with council. Oh yeah. Are you voting in favor, or did you need to talk?
I was actually going to try and find the button and put my hand up, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just a quick question for Councillor Hillian, just to make sure that you feel comfortable attending that, as you also sit on the board of that that organization. Does that feel comfortable for you?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah, full disclosure, I do sit on the board of the John Howard Society. It's a private interest of mine, and I've made that clear in previous council discussions and disqualified myself anytime there's been an issue with relation to that organization receiving a benefit from the city, for example. And that has, in fact, held me back from volunteering to act in this capacity that the Kiwanis residents are requesting. Having said that, the request from the board of Kiwanis did come to me, and I'm totally fine with fulfilling it. I wouldn't have any objection to having another member or two of council attend if anyone else wanted to, and I don't think they would have a problem with that either.
And I'm completely satisfied if you're comfortable with it. I know you're used to wearing two hats at one time, and that's as we all get the chance to at the regional district boards. So otherwise, I'd also be happy to play that role if you'd like, or join you. Either way.
Well, as I often say, a man like me can't have too many hats, and you'll get the joke, those of you who have the similar challenge. I think this is partly why we need to put some more thought into this before a final decision on, first of all, whether council does choose to provide a representative to liaise with the Kiwanis seniors in particular, and then secondly, who it is. But it would be my position that the information that we're looking for, including the response from BC Housing, and I know we have had a letter from the executive director of John Howard as well. There's nothing to prevent us from making a decision before that. I think it might be a better informed decision, though, if we have all that information.
And thanks for bringing that forward.
Excellent. Good discussion. No further questions. I don't see any other hands. So I'll poll council, starting with Councillor Cole Hamilton.
In favor.
Councillor Frisch.
In favor.
Councillor Hillian.
In favor.
Councillor McCollum.
In favor.
Now, Councillor Moran, I'm just noticing that your hand is up. Are you not going to vote?
Oh, sorry, I got my hand up too slowly. I was just going to have asked to have the motion read back to me, please.
Ms. Schurtz, are you able to read it back?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. that staff write a letter to Comox Valley Kiwanis Village and Comox Valley Better at Home in response to their June 8th, 2020 delegation to council, advising of council's process regarding their request and advising that we are still researching information before the final response.
Great, thank you. I'm in favor.
Okay, and Councillor Theos?
And I'll be in support.
And I'm in support as well, so that's unanimous. Thanks, everybody. And again, thanks, Councillor Hillian, for that. So that was unfinished business. And I'm looking through my notes here. So
Notice of motion.
There is that notice of motion, which on my thing was first, so I don't feel as bad about it now. But I'll pass it back to you, Councillor Hillian.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I believe all members of council received a message from a citizen who described an incident with somebody suffering a mental health episode in the community. The individual was reluctant to phone the police, and whatever we may think of that, went on to explain that she felt we should be advocating to have an ACT team implemented in the Comox Valley. And so this resolution is simply, and it's for discussion at our next meeting, which I believe is August 17th. Is that correct, Ms. Surichta? Thanks. So it's simply to put that on notice tonight, and I would be seeking some further information to give council a better background at that time. There has been discussion in the past about the need for an ACT team in the Comox Valley, which is essentially an outreach and crisis intervention team of mental health workers who are there to respond in situations that warrant that. And it's been very helpful in some of the other communities on the island. I think would be a huge asset for us. So I look forward to having the opportunity to present that motion at our next meeting in August. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much, Councillor Hillian. And I don't believe there's any new business. I think that was sort of the new business that we dealt with. So moving into bylaws.
Mayor, I'm happy to move that zoning amendment bylaw number 2992/2020, which is a bylaw to rezone the property to permit office use at 2459 Cousins Avenue, past third reading.
Second.
All right, that's been first and seconded. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll poll council, starting with Councillor Cole-Hamilton.
In favor?
Councillor Frisch.
In favor.
Councillor Hillian.
In favor.
Councillor McCollum.
In favor.
Councillor Morin.
In favor.
Councillor Theos.
In favor.
I'm in favor as well, so that's unanimous. And for final adoption.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move that zoning amendment bylaw number 2992/2020, a bylaw to rezone property to permit office use 2459 Cousins Avenue, be finally adopted.
Second.
Excellent. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll poll council, starting with Councillor Cole-Hamilton.
In favor?
Councillor Frisch.
In favor.
Councillor Hillian.
In favor.
Councillor McCollum.
In favor.
Councillor Morin.
In favor.
Councillor Theos.
I'm in favor.
And I'm in favor as well, so unanimous again.
Move adjournment.
I was going to say, finally, if somebody would like to second that.
With pleasure.
Oh,
Could I speak to it? I'd like to speak to it, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to offer our acting CAO, Mr. Kushner, a wish for a good holiday this coming week. And I'd like to wish all of our staff who are working very hard the best for any vacations that they're taking. And hopefully our wonderful support person, Ms. Surichta, will be giving herself some holidays at some point as well. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Councillor Hillian. Well said. I know this last weekend was the first time that I shut myself off for a few days. And other than a couple of little fires that kind of cropped up, it was a pretty uneventful weekend, which was much appreciated. So, all right, with that, did anybody ever second adjournment? I don't know if I heard that.
Second.
Okay. All right. Unless you wave your hands furiously in opposition, I'm going to assume that we're going to adjourn. Have a great evening, everybody. It's only 4:35, and we'll see you guys soon.
Have a fantastic few weeks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care all. Bye-bye.